Ever feel like trying to find your soulmate is like, I don't know, one giant video game with a million side quests?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Well, today's deep dive is all about speed running that whole soulmate search because we found this guide and, well, it's interesting to say the least.
A soulmate speed run.
That's what we're calling it.
I like it. Though I gotta say, kind of makes you wonder, can you really streamline love? Like it's some kind of optimization puzzle.
Right. This guide seems to think so. The main idea is that, according to them, being single, it's totally avoidable. And you know what they really push for?
What's that?
Online dating. Specifically online dating. It's like they're saying algorithms are the new matchmakers, forget destiny.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting how much emphasis is placed on these websites and apps in this day and age. I
Mm.
mean, it used to be all about bumping into someone at the coffee shop or whatever, but now so much of how people connect, it all comes down to technology.
Yeah, for sure.
But, something that stood out to me was how much this guide emphasizes safety in online dating.
Mm.
What do they say about that? Like, what are they suggesting keeps things safe?
Yeah, that's a great question. They seem to focus on the fact there are just so many users on these platforms, right? Like connecting people across the world and everything.
Oh, I see.
It's almost like having endless options somehow equals safety, at least according to this guide.
That's fascinating because it makes you think, does it really? Like, sure, having options is great, but does having a million options actually make things safer
Oh,
or just more overwhelming? You know what I
it's
mean?
like decision paralysis, right?
Exactly. Like trying to choose from a menu that's as long as like a whole encyclopedia or something. It's too much.
And then you end up just ordering pizza again.
Right. You're just like, ugh, it's gonna be the usual.
Exactly. So maybe not the best recipe for finding your soulmate, you know?
Right, right.
Okay, but even though they're all about online dating as like the main strategy, the guide does mention some more, I guess, traditional ways to meet someone, like joining singles group or even just like getting involved in religious organizations or stuff like that, if that's your thing.
Hmm. Interesting. So they're not totally against like real life interactions then,
Yeah, it's more like they see it as a backup plan, I
like a
guess.
side quest.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Don't put all your eggs in one digital basket or whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. Though it does make you wonder, like, do different generations just approach this whole thing differently? Or is it more about like, individual preference? Some people swear by algorithms, some people just want to see what happens,
Totally. Like, are you team algorithm or team let's see what happens?
Exactly.
Okay, speaking of algorithms, though, they also suggest using social media and not just for finding new people, but also for like rekindling old
Oh,
flames.
really?
Yeah, which ethically speaking, I don't know.
It's a slippery slope, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
where do you draw the line between putting yourself out there and like, digging up someone's digital past without their consent? It gets kind of ethically murky.
Totally. They don't really get into that though, unfortunately.
That's a whole other deep dive.
Exactly. Okay, this next one is a little out there. They actually suggest that you can judge someone's trustworthiness based on their voice.
Really?
Yeah, like, can you hear a red flag,
Well, I mean, I think you can definitely pick up on some things from someone's tone of voice.
Right.
Right. Like if they sound nervous or sincere, maybe if they seem like they have a good sense of humor.
Sure, sure.
But to say that you can determine trustworthiness based on just that, especially online, where people can so carefully craft how they present themselves, it seems, I don't know.
A little risky.
Yeah. Like, what if the person is just having a bad day?
Yeah, or what if they have a cold or something? It's not exactly a foolproof soulmate detection method.
Definitely not. Trust, especially in the digital age, takes time.
Right.
And it involves like looking at way more than just one thing.
100%. This guide almost seems to operate under the idea that love is like this formula that you can solve.
Right.
But maybe it's more about, enjoying the process, even the messy parts.
Yeah, maybe that's the takeaway here. Like, what if finding a soulmate wasn't about racing to the finish line, but about, really appreciating the journey, even with all its twists and turns?
Right, and maybe that's the real adventure.
Exactly.
And on that note, I think we've reached the finish line of our own little deep dive here. Thanks to everyone for listening to us break down this unique perspective on finding love.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
And until next time, good luck out there on those dating apps.